final example, we're gonna work on a program that's called future value. So we want to develop a program to determine the future value of an investment. And then we're going to use this by using the software development process that we learned at the beginning of the lecture. So first, remember we have to do the analysis. Basically says that we need to understand the program. So analysis, the money deposited in the bank account earns interest, right? So what we're going to try to do is how much will the account be worth 10 years from now? So our input is principal and interest rate, and our output is the value of the investment in 10 years, basically our total money, including our principal plus our the value that we earned. So our specs are, so user enters the initial amount to invest, which is the principal, and the user enters an annual percentage rate, which is the interest. And okay, so and list goes on, and then the process is okay. And right, so a program called future value. Inputs are principal and APR. Output will be the value of the investment 10 years in the future. And then what is the relationship between between the input and output? Okay, so the value after 1 year is given by the principal times 1 plus the APR. Okay, and then we also repeat, we have to repeat this 10 times. Those are our specs. And our design, remember in our design phase, we need to write a pseudocode, a design solution in pseudocode, not in any specific programming language. So our design will look like this. First, print an introduction. So it's a good programming practice. Then input the amount of the principal, and then input the annual percentage rate, which will be saved to APR, and then repeat 10 times. Notice that we don't say for I in range 10. That's Python syntax. Repeat 10 times is pseudocode. And then in each pass, each time we repeat this, we're gonna say principal is principal times 1 plus the APR. So we calculate new value of the principal, new value with this expression, and assign that to principal. So after each year, our principal will also be updated. And then when we're done with the loop, we're going to output the value of the principal. Okay, so in an implemented phase, we're going to start writing the code. So I'm going to use a Python file that I just created. So I'm going to put this aside, and then right, let me get the comments in here. Don't really like to type them. So program is future well, a program to compute the value of an investment carried 10 years in the future. And then here's our implementation, def main. Okay, then I'm gonna print, and again, I don't want to type this one either. So I'm going to put this in. Okay, so basically this program calculates the future value of a 10-year investment. So then based on our pseudocode, so I need to input principal will be eval input. Then remember I have to prompt the user. I have to say enter the initial principal. And then for column, basically I'm ready for user to enter something, and APR. Okay, so eval input Okay, so I'm gonna say enter the annual interest rate. Okay. Now, this may not be very clear, but we want user to enter like 0.1 for 10%. So that could be a bit more descriptive. So I'm missing something here. Close, close. Okay, so now the input is done. Now, as far as the process go, we're gonna say for I in range 10. And then I'm gonna have the principal after 1 year. I want the principal to be principal times 1 plus APR. Okay. There's certainly different ways of doing so, but we're gonna go with one solution. We can't possibly do every single way of doing so. Then finally, I think I have my principal. I'm gonna print, and then I'm gonna say the value in 10 years is comma principal. So it looks like we're good. Then I'll go ahead and call the main function, and then I'm going to save this file. footval.py. Okay, so I'm ready to test. I have to go to run and run module. Okay, so it looks like it's going good so far. Okay, so I'm going to enter $100 with 0.1, that is 10%, right? 0.1 is 10%. Okay, so the value in 10 years is $259 point some cents, right? So I can call this function again. I'll do another test. Let me try 100 with 2%, 0.2, 0.02. In this case, at the end of 10 years, I will have $121. Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna do one more test just to see that it works. I want to try with 100 with 0.1%. So 0.1 basically means the first year I'm getting $1 in, right? The second year I'm getting a little over $10. So I'll have at the end I'll have something like $11, $12 or so addition. So I'll have 100. Okay, see, I have a problem here. I need to retry. Okay, so I'm going to do 100 and then 0.01. So I have an $110. It's a little bit less than I was expecting, but as far as the program go, that looks okay. Principal is principal times 1 plus APR. It should be okay. Okay. So with that, this concludes this lecture 2. So once you understand this, you'll proceed with the lab 2.